All right, so again, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Fireside Chat event entitled Shaping the Future of Sustainability. How can we advance our action plan? So I hope everyone is doing well, no, in spite of this medyo, ano yung weather natin, no, it's changing, no, from being hot, tapos biglang uulan. So I hope everyone is well. So to begin, no, this is not going to be very long. I would just like to acknowledge the presence of the different business sectors in this room, no? Yes, sorry. I'm sorry. Did someone call my attention? Wala naman. Okay. So, but first, thank you again for your time. I would like to call your name one by one, your companies, no? But please, if I haven't mentioned your name, we're so grateful for your presence. So again, thank you for FTC Utilities, DOST, Philippine National Bank, Converge ICT Solutions Incorporation, First Philippine Holdings Corporation, Ampersand Design Think Lab Corporation, BDO Unibank, Metro Pacific Health, Philinvest Development Corporation, SMI, MSCI, Meralco, Prime Infrastructure Capital, Project Klima, Union Galva Steel Corporation, SustainablePH, the Solmit Collective Incorporation, City Savings Bank, Shell Philippines, Globe Telecom, Appointees Equity Ventures, and Land Bank of the Philippines. So just only to name a few, no? We also actually have pala our online participants. So shout out to everyone who is actually there. Thank you for attending. And of course, I think I have to introduce myself. No, I've been ranting, no, and saying a lot of things, but I am Ray Loyola from Business for Sustainable Development, and I will be your host for today. And of course, yun nga, we are part of BSD in partnership with Comunidad to bring you this event, no? So please enjoy later on. And of course, I am looking forward to your engaging questions. I'm looking forward na you really interact with each other. The point of this Fireside Chat event is not just to learn from our speakers later on, but of course to learn from you. So we would like you to really express your opinion, not just ask questions, no? Maybe you can share your initiatives in your different companies, right? So if this is a two-way communication, we would love to hear from you. Same goes to our community, online community, no? We will be reading your comments, your questions. Please make use of our chat box. Ayan. Okay. Now, to begin, no, there's just a very special message from Comunidad's CEO and co-founder, no? So I would like to introduce you to someone who has a vision since 2013, with challenges such as calamities. It resulted in innovations we can't imagine will be possible today. So you think with him bringing this together, no, Comunidad into this business, madami talagang naging achievements, no? And I think he would be saying a lot of more of that, no? So may I welcome Mr. Felix Aike to provide our welcoming remarks.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And yeah, thank you for being here. I know this is the time where there's a lot of traffic. Well, at least yung emissions nasa labas, hindi nandito sa loob, di ba? But anyway, just to give you an overview. So, Comunidad, we are a climate tech startup. So we are one of the unique startups who handle both adaptation and mitigation. But we are still, we are still considered a software company. So we are also a portfolio company of ADB Ventures and Wavemaker Partners from Singapore. So we have operations in Singapore, Philippines, and we're recently opening an office in Luxembourg. So we cover mostly a global part, but we started in the Bicol region in Legazpi City. So I'm from Legazpi, born and raised, dun din daw nag-study. So yeah, but I've been doing this for the past 15 years. Hindi pa climate change yung term that time. So globally, Comunidad naman is we started in climate resilience. So we serve mostly the cities and municipalities here, like Quezon City. If you can see, there's Quezon City's I Rise Up. So this is more like their projects. We have Assam State, 24,000 villages in Assam State in India. We have farmers in Cambodia. And we have a lot more. So mostly the company started doing impact projects related to climate resilience because we are in this part of the world where adaptation is a bit immediate rather than decarbonization. But Along the way, when we met BSD, we have a new team of sustainability people. So we fusioned our software, our expertise. So we have a lot of meteorologists, data scientists in the Philippines that are in Comunidad. We have resources in Europe and a lot more. So, this technology, we just, work together. But our intention is to really create a more, localized approach in terms of sustainability reporting in the Philippines. But as mentioned, we have a culture of immersion and real impact. Kaya Comunidad siya because of community. Most of our people are also in the development field. So we are a bit realist in terms of climate change. We believe that it's happening here in Asia, and there's a lot of livelihoods are affected. We believe that climate change is, for the poor communities, it's real, di ba? Kasi they don't have a choice compared to, let's say, so we always have that, initiative. So when we did the sustainability reporting, we always have that vision. It's not just for reporting. It's not just a buzzword. So for us, it's more very deep. Kumbaga, our teams are more. We consider this as a very deep initiative. Kumbaga, developing a new principle for companies and then the new generation. So that's just wanted to give you our vision in terms of this. And our purpose for this event is to, of course, get to know the sustainability community in the Philippines. This Fireside Chat. I know these intimate events are more better than bigger events. I know this one we could really get to know each other, get to collaborate maybe on opportunities in the future, as well as sharing knowledge, right? Because we know that it is still early for now, and then every month there's changes in terms of, what climate change is, sustainability frameworks, and a lot more. So yeah, and then thank you also for the speakers now, and then the panelists. So I hope we're gonna learn a lot more from them, and later on. We'll showcase also what we did with our team and BSD, the software that we did. So this is more of just showing, that Filipinos can also do that, right? Not like in Europe, everyone's doing that, but Filipinos can make better software with, and we also would like to tap the community to also, if you could also help us, let's collaborate and all these things. Yeah, thank you very much, and. Ako naman, I'm also looking forward for the sangria kasi masarap dito yung sangria eh. So, white and red. So, yun yung isang highlight para sa akin. So, yeah. So, enjoy and, thank you.
Okay, so alam niyo na yung sangria. Then later, di ba? Kakaabang-abang. So, thank you for that, Sir Felix. So, syempre, huwag natin pahabain, no? Gusto ko pahabain yung part ng pag-uusap talaga during the Fireside Chat. So, to proceed to the main event, and of course, I hope you're ready to listen, no, and engage with our guest speakers. But of course, I'm going to be introducing muna, leading this discussion is our moderator for this afternoon. Our moderator will be led by BSD's Program Consultant for Sustainability Management Systems, Sir RV Perez. Sir RV, please. Sige po. So I think you might notice that there are changes, no? So our executive director will be running late, but I hope later you can talk to him. Pero of course, we need to continue the conversation, no? We have to really discuss what is really important right now. So of course, Sir RV, let me give you a quick background. So Sir RV currently joined as the head of sustainability for BSD, so he leads the sustainability advisory of BSD, helping companies on their journey towards developing a sustainability strategy and reporting, among others. He is one of a few GRI certified professionals in the Philippines qualified to teach the GRI course. Recently, Sir RV was the main representative of BSD to the ASEAN Task Force for Nature-Related Financial Disclosures Consultation Group. So yeah, so let's give him again a round of applause, please. Okay, so of course, to be joined by Sir RV, our moderator, there are special guests here, no? I want you to think saan sila nakaupo, but I don't think there's a time for for a guessing game. But anyway, the special guest will be sharing their experiences, their opinions, and of course, their their expert views of the matter, no? Of course, our topic for today. So, let me first introduce to you our first speaker. Allow me to introduce Ms. Katreena Pillejera. She is currently the Country Manager for Global Reporting Initiative Philippines, with 10 years of experience working with various sectors such as the academe, NGO, corporate top management, and government. She was honed in sustainable development for program design and implementation. And did you know, she was formerly with us at BSD, or the Business for Sustainable Development, wherein during her time, she has acquired significant experience in sustainability reporting and consulting. She has worked with banks, energy and utilities, real estate, food and beverage, and a quick service restaurants. She has also been active in doing volunteer work in sustainability, which can be reflected in her involvement with Reboot Renewable Energy Transition Institute, or Reboot PH, as one of the founding board members and Climate and Energy Literacy Director since 2021. So let us all again welcome Ms. Maria Katreena Pillejera. A round of applause, please. Ayan.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and on to our second speaker, who will be joining Sir RV in front. She is a program director of SustainablePH. She has over 5 years of experience working in sustainable development and sustainability education in various sectors. Aside from her involvement with SustainablePH, she is also the business development consultant at the Ateneo Institute of Sustainability and the coordinator for the Zero Exclusion, Zero Carbon, and Zero Poverty Alliance in the Philippines. Prior to this, she was Assistant Vice President of the SM Sustainability Office at SM Investments Incorporation, working with the retail, mining, banking, property, logistics, and leisure businesses of the group. She led sustainability initiatives in retail practices and employee training and helped companies within the group integrate sustainability in their operations. Let us all welcome Ms. Marimar Baticulon. Round of applause, please. Last but not the least, our very important guest speaker from a very integral sector when it comes to governance and implementation. Thus, her role as the Director of the Corporate Governance and Finance Department of the Philippine Securities and Exchange Commission. Since 2008, she has been involved in the investigation and prosecution of violations of the laws implemented by the SEC when she was in the Enforcement Department of the agency. When she joined her current department, she became involved in drafting rules and regulations and memorandum circulars relevant to the companies monitored by the department. She is always invited as a resource speaker to give lectures on topics on sustainability, corporate governance, and regulations affecting investment companies, among others. Through her leadership and efforts of her department, the SEC Philippines was awarded the International Standards of Accounting and Reporting Honors 2019 by the UN Conference on Trade and Development in Geneva, Switzerland on October 30, 2019, for issuing the guidelines on sustainability reporting for public listed companies. And lastly, she was selected as one of the Asia's top sustainability superwomen for 2021, an annual listing by CSR Works International of exceptional female sustainability leaders in the region. Let us all welcome Director Rachel Esther Gumtang Remalante. Okay, so now I will be giving the floor to our moderator and, of course, the guest speakers.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, thank you for attending our event. And I see a lot of our partners here in sustainability, and we hope that we'll have a good fireside chat. So again, just as a backgrounder, I come from a operating background. I used to manage companies, and I was also involved in finance. And one of our initial I manage a conservation fund that invested in a island resort in El Nido. And that's where we implemented conservation and sustainability practices in all operations of the resort. And I also managed the airline, whereby I launched the very first carbon offset program 15 years ago in 2008, and very much ahead of the aviation industry in the Philippines. And I'm here with BSD because I'm very passionate about sustainability. So I welcome this discussion, and I guess to lead the discussion this evening, I'd like to ask each of the speakers to just give a short description on what they do with regards to sustainability in each of their companies. No, can we start with Ms. Katreena?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, we can. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much. And of course, thank you for our organizers, BST and Comunidad, for having me today. And beyond that, also for accommodating my request to have to join with you virtually. It's just been a long day for me, and traveling from QC to BGC. My meeting ended at around 5 p.m. It will be impossible for me. So thank you for making this possible, for setting this up, and good afternoon as well to our participants today at this event. I guess, as introduced by Ray a while ago, I'm serving country manager for the Philippines at the Global Reporting Initiative. And hearing the list of participants a while ago, I would say that most of you have already heard of GRI, or at least familiar with us. So I'm just going to give you anyway with like a brief background of what we do here in the Philippines at the very least. So primarily we advocate for transparency and accountability through sustainability reporting, and of course it's through the GRI standards. So what we primarily do is, of course, we work with not just with large companies, and I'm happy to say that we're now working with SMEs as well to improve, inclusivity in sustainability. And beyond that, we are also working with governments and regulators in the country. I'm happy to say that since 2018, we have a very strong relationship with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Hello, Director Rachel. I'm sorry I'm not able to be there to say hi to you in person. And beyond the governments and regulators, we're also working with the civil society organizations and the academia. In fact, in March, we had an event with Ateneo, and that's through Mai, with my wear hair hat at Ateneo Institute of Sustainability. So the topic around that was on evolving role of universities in sustainability. So basically, what we do in terms of, trying to achieve our vision for transparency and accountability through sustainability reporting is that we capacitate all the stakeholders within our and beyond our networks, and also raise awareness, and we get involved in policy works as well, as much as we can. And we also produce white papers relevant to the landscape. And what else? I guess I could stop there for now, and I'm very excited to share with you the developments in the Philippines and also in the ASEAN region when it comes to opportunities as well in the sustainability and sustainability reporting. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Ms. Katreena. So may I ask Director Rachel just to describe what you do at the SEC related to sustainability and sustainability reporting? Thank you.
So, thank you. Thank you for inviting me here to BST and to Comunidad. We're very happy. At least we have additional crowd to share with you what the SEC is doing in the sustainability space. As mentioned by Katreena, this has been a quite good journey for the SEC, and I guess with GRI, with all the efforts we've done so far in the sustainability space, especially when in 2019 we released a very important regulation in terms of sustainability reporting guidelines for the publicly listed companies. I guess some of the companies here have already started the journey ahead of the regulation, but I think what was important in issuing that regulation is really to push the other publicly listed companies to actually have a sustainability report. So we're quite happy. I think in the past, although the first reporting was done during the pandemic, we were quite happy that the numbers were very good in terms of the submission rate. We had 92% submission, and then in the 2021, for covering the 2020, we had the 96, right? 96 rounded up compliance rate of companies. And then right now, while it slightly low, went down at 95, because there was an increase in the number of the PLC. So it's still a good number, it's just not in the optic-wise, because it decreased. And at the 2022, it's still at 95%. So I'm quite happy that a lot of the publicly listed companies are already very much compliant. And I think, and we know as a regulator, a lot of that is really because of the regulations that we issued. This is really the push. I think companies, maybe they start with the compliance, but we hope it doesn't really have to be compliance alone. But it's really looking at the bigger picture, looking at why we're doing this, why is it important, not only to investors, but also for the society as well. We sometimes forget about the S in the ESG, and that's the people. So we have been doing a lot, and I'd like to share with you more about it later. I think during the discussion, we'd like to share with you what are the other updates we have at the SEC. So I think that's my role. My role is really, I'm one of the pushers. Not the drug addict pusher, but more of we want to really start the behavior of companies to start reporting on their sustainability activities. So thank you.
Thank you, Director Rachel. I think we've really seen how the improvement in the percentage of PLCs, especially in submitting their sustainability reports. So next, I'd like to ask Mai, if you could also describe what you do and the company that you're representing. I think this mic is better for Miss Katreena to hear you.
Okay, this one? Okay. Oh, so she can't hear us here. Hello? Is this better? Can you hear us here? Okay, thank you. So this mic, we won't use it na lang. Okay. So if Director Rachel was the pusher, I used to work with one of the companies who were pushed. So just to share a bit of background, as mentioned, I used to work with SM, one of the largest conglomerates in the country. I used to work with Colleen. She's the group head of sustainability. And we experienced doing the reporting. So I was a corporate sustainability practitioner. And during that time, during the pandemic, we recognized that the work of sustainability goes beyond just one company or one conglomerate. So Colleen actually founded SustainablePH. It's a nonprofit dedicated to raising sustainability leaders in the country. We know that there's a lot of upskilling that needs to happen, often a neglected component, the human capability part. But we know that there are barriers, like a lot of cost barriers. It's too expensive to be trained in sustainability. You have to go abroad to take to learn it, or you kind of have to know who are really the actors in sustainability. So she founded that, and I helped her out while still with SM. Until such time, until now, it's still working on it. So I serve as the program director for Learn to Lead Sustainability. We're now on our second cohort. It's a cohort of diverse professionals from nonprofits, corporates, startups, governments, who really want to make a difference, but need a more affordable and contextualized program. So it's a 10-week program right now. So we try to bring upskilling to a level that's close to these stakeholders. So from the time I worked with the corporate, I moved hats, recognizing that there are a lot of actors in the corporate space, but there's a bigger challenge we face out there, and we need more stakeholders on board. So I eventually moved to what we call the 000 Alliance. It's a global movement towards zero exclusion, zero carbon, and zero poverty, powered by international foundation called ACTED. Our work is mostly in Mindanao, so I actually loved what the CEO of Comunidad mentioned earlier, that sustainability reporting has to be rooted in the actual lived experience. Because I moved from a corporate reporter perspective to actually a development worker. And then I'm also with Ateneo Institute of Sustainability because we know that the academe is a strong partner as well in moving these different points that we have to move if you want to take sustainability forward. So maybe I stop there first, and yeah, this is a general intro of what I do now.
Thank you, Mai. I'm happy to note that my daughter is one of her participants in the second cohort. So my daughter is she's a brand manager for Colpal, Colgate Palmolive, but she really wants to do something that's very impactful for the world, and that's why she took that cohort, Learn to Lead course. So again, I guess this fireside chat will be tackling three themes. Number one is maybe what are the challenges that each of the speakers have experienced in their respective positions. Number two, and what are the opportunities that you see given all these challenges? And I guess the last issue would be how could innovation or technology address these challenges, no? So if I may ask Katreena, in your job in GRI, what would be the major challenges that you face in terms of urging companies to, first of all, make a sustainability report, and secondly, to adopt perhaps the GRI standard?
Yes, thank you, RV. Thank you for that question. Top of mind, I have a couple of things that I could share, but I want to also mention that this kind of like observations or insights is not only provided by GRI, by my experience in GRI, but also with my time during with my time with BST. I think that was from 2017 to 2020. So at the time, BST was offering consultant packages for large companies for full development of sustainability reports, and that's mainly through the GRI standards. But all in all, coming from helping large companies developing their sustainability reports, and then now with the GRI work that we're doing, first and foremost, I think one of the main challenges when it comes to reporting in itself is the data collection. And the main, I could attach it very directly with the nature of the GRI standards in itself. As you may know, as most of you here would know, GRI standards is very comprehensive. So, we have 31 topic standards ranging from economic, environmental, and social aspects of sustainability. And in those 31 topic standards, we have a number of disclosures and metrics and management approaches, guidance or recommendations for each. So you could imagine how it could be overwhelming for large companies. And now, of course, when we introduce it to SMEs as well, we already anticipated that how they will be receiving it. And beyond the 31 topic standards, we also have sector standards. And right now, we are developing about 40 topic standards. We have already published the coal sector standard, oil and gas, and agriculture, aquaculture, and fisheries sector standards. And so there's a lot more in the pipeline. But that's only to my point of the GRI standards being very comprehensive, but on the other side of the coin, it could get overwhelming. And in connection to the data collection, if, say, for example, a company would want to go through all the 31 topic standards, then it would mean that they will have to collect all the data relating to those 31 topic standards. But then, of course, this is where the principle of materiality would come in. It doesn't mean that we have this set of standards that everyone would have to kind of comply to all of those metrics and disclosures. Beyond the standards in itself, data collection in the sense of sustainability reporting is truly challenging because it means you have to mobilize all your stakeholders, both internally and externally. So that's why I'm mentioning it as I think I would, if I were to rank it, I would say that would be the number one challenge in the implementation of sustainability reporting, and also even the integration of sustainability practices into business operations. Mainly because data could also give you information on where to focus in your operations, where to improve. But then again, that tends to be overwhelming. I have two more in mind, if you don't mind. I'd like to, I guess, mention, because from all the feedback that we get from like this, for example, speaking engagements or events that we've held, trainings and whatnot. One of the thing that always come up is the harmonization or the alignment or what have you. And that's also very valid, because we have a lot of like standards and frameworks out there when it comes to sustainability, and we call it the alphabet soup. And I see this as a challenge for the implementation of the sustainability reporting, because it tends to get confusing for the reporters. But then again, with GR standards being the most widely used standards in the world, the one kind of silver lining, or one thing that everyone could lean on, is that we don't have to start from scratch. We can always use GA standards as kind of like a foundation, and then from there we can build from it. And as I've said a while ago, GA standards is very comprehensive, so we have like a number of alignment documents with SDGs, with PCFD, and a lot of other frameworks out there, and that is something that the reporters could use. And lastly, I would say, when it comes to implementation of the GRI standards, I would say that the GRI standards is a voluntary standards could also come as a challenge for us. But I'm happy that around the world we have influenced about how many was it? Around 170 policies around the world in 67 countries are now referencing or using GRI standards for their guidelines. And I tag this as a challenge, because with voluntary attached to it, there's only a very low chance for companies or for enterprises or organizations or any entity to actually do it, because it's voluntary. So that's why we're very happy with our collaboration, with our relationship with SEC, with them having released MC4 in 2019, because this actually really pushed the uptake of sustainability reporting, and also pushing large companies and many other companies to really reflect on what these numbers mean for them. I think I've talked too much, so I'm going to give back the mic to you, Arvi.
Okay, thank you, Katreena. Thank you for that substantial insight. Now, maybe ask Director Rachel in your position in the SEC, could you describe what were the challenges or difficulties you encountered in drafting, given the fact that there's an alphabet soup of regulations and frameworks? What were the challenges that you encountered in trying to draft or regulation or memorandum circulars, especially urging private companies or PLCs to do sustainability reporting?
So, thank you, RV. Wait. So your question is on the drafting of our MC 19, but I can talk more about the drafting that we're doing right now. Because I think we've announced this in some forums that I've attended, that we're actually revising our SEC Memorandum Circular number 4 series of 2019. Just to give a quick background, of course, this is the 2019 circular wherein we basically just started to urge companies to start their reporting journey on sustainability. And as time goes by, there are a lot of things happening in the world, a lot of frameworks being introduced. And if you look at our MC, we actually just encourage the company, if you have an existing sustainability reporting framework that you're using, you can already use it. And then at the same time, our MC provided a template, which if you are you're just beginning the journey, you're just starting to report on sustainability, you can use our template, which we believe is basically it's GRI, right? And then we just included some inputs like from TCFD. We added some from other frameworks just to put that we are supporting some of the information that we wanted that to be there. So we basically encountered a huge issues because when we started reviewing the reports, for now we really basically we required companies to submit, and then we started to have a project reviewing it. I think, Katreena, just to pick up from what you said, it's the data collection. So when we're doing the data collection and reviewing some of the sustainability reports, the biggest challenge that we really encountered is alignment. Companies are reporting on different things. Some are reporting and using our template. That would have been easier because they're just using the template. We can do an easy comparison on the reports given by the companies. However, when other companies are actually using like the GRI, they're using the IR, SASB, it becomes more challenging for the one reviewing and collecting and extracting all this information because we cannot really make a good alignment of what are being reported, how strong are they reporting on it, how good is it, or if any weakness are detected. So we did a review of the two periods. We did the 2019 and 2020. We're hoping to have it really soon, but we're very much aware that panis na ba? Panis na ba yung information that we can actually gather from it? But there are a lot of learning experience that we were able to take from that exercise in trying to understand the behavior and how companies are reporting, which also pushed us in developing our new guidelines for the sustainability reporting in the Philippines. So, I'm not so sure kung papayagan ako ni Chair sa sasabihin ko ngayon. But we wanted to really announce for public comment, and I also welcome, you can approach me later on if you want to beta test, be part of the beta test of our sustainability reporting template. Because we wanted that once we have it launched, it's going to be an online submission with respect to the template. And the idea there is, the reason we are doing it online, because we are doing a template of what are the information that we really need right now. Don't worry, our plan is to give some reliefs in the initial stages of the implementation. We just wanted to get more information on how companies will be able to comply with what we need from them. There's actually some push on driving companies to really report on some of the items because we are eventually going to be, right now we want it mandated. These are now mandated items that we want companies to report on. So we can actually, like we mentioned, harmonization. So at least, at the very least, we are asking for information that all companies, we can at least make a benchmarking of all the information they will be providing. It's going to be, I hope, the information that will be gathered there will be easier for not only for the companies, but for the investors or some stakeholders interested in the information. So at least they can compare whether this company is really performing very well in this area, they're providing good information on this side. So that's what we are really challenged because on developing this one, because we are sometimes asking ourselves, are this the information that is really necessary? Are this needed? How would, when we do publish this for comments, how would reporters react? Baka hindi na ako makalabas ng buhay ng opisina dahil naiinis kayo dahil we're requiring this information from the company. But nevertheless, my defense or our defense as a regulator is we made sure that we did the legwork, we did the research, we did the study, and we made sure these are based on standards. So hindi naman namin pinulot lang somewhere yung mga gusto naming information to be needed there. There's a reason behind that. And we've been working with the private sector. I'm also a member of the Philippine Sustainability Reporting Committee, together with Mara. I brought my attorney Mara here. We're very much part of that group, and we're very active in that because we wanted to have, before we launch any regulation, we wanted that group to have their first impression on what report we're using, because definitely they are also more of an expert because they're on the ground doing the reports. So at least before we release it, hindi na ako masyadong duguan kapag nilabas ko yon. And then, si SEC naman yon, hindi naman siguro ako yung aawayin yon, no? Kasi approve naman yon eventually on the public exposure. So, yon, we wanted the reporting to be easier, and that's always a challenge because you're also looking at the client or the customer you're addressing, how to make reporting easier for them. And the push really and the challenge is why we are pushing this information. Why is it relevant? Why is it important? And how does it push policies to be and make this information useful for policymakers? Hopefully, congressmen and senators would make use of this information available and improve yung report natin, not only in the BNR, diba? We wanted digitalized, para hindi na nga namin ma-encounter yung very manual way of reviewing the reports. Because it's really hard to go over the document, and yun nga, if it's human intervention going over the reports, pag human, may human error. So, baka yung report na nag-gather namin
Recording stopped.
Stop na rin ako. Tinimer ba lang ako? Sorry if I'm taking too long. But those are the challenges, actually. We hope you can approach me later on if you're interested to have that beta test with us. We have pre-selected some companies, and I will also be approaching them because para mas meron kaming better idea if yung information, yung form namin is going to be easy for them, and especially yung submission. Because that form, sasubmit na lang siya online, and then we can gather the data. So, And I think yun naman yung challenge lang na nakikita kong major. It's really the alignment and making sure na this information are useful. And this time, siguro yung add lang namin dun sa form namin. Before, template lang siya. It's general. Right now, we're looking at industry-specific information. So, yun yung mga naiisip namin at the moment. Ayun. Challenges, di ba?
Thank you. I guess we have a question from the chat, Zoom chat. So we'll take this opportunity to address it to Director.
All right, so allow me to read the question. This is from Ina Antipala from Ayala. To Director Remalante, does SEC have an indicative timeline of the new memo?
Sorry, Chair. We're planning, nagbe-best effort kami nila Mara ngayon. We're planning to release the draft MC this September. Because we're looking at doing the beta testing during the exposure para makombine na namin yung comments ng public, and then we'll also be doing the beta testing. So we can already address some of the concerns. But on the approval, based dun sa latest na timeline namin, we're looking at, of course, I'm going to be inviting everyone. We're going to have our 10th CG Forum, that's the SECP CG Forum, on November 24. And siguro may masasabi na kami na may launch kami doon on that day. And we are also going to have a workshop there in order to assist reporters on how to use our form. Ayan. So ayan, I gave 2 dates. So September will be a public exposure, and we're looking at November to be the launch.
Thank you for the advance info. Again, let's go to Ms. Mai. No? I understand you're involved with sort of education and teaching. And I'd like to ask you, what are the challenges that you encounter in, first of all, trying to encourage people, especially young professionals like my daughter, to get into sustainability, and also likewise, given all the alphabet soup, how do you encourage them to focus on a particular sustainability report format, or how to learn how to make sustainability reports?
Thank you. I'll build on to the challenges then. Kasi I used to be a corporate reporter. So if they were the standard setters, the regulators, I was the one being pushed. So as part of the corporate sector, no? And I agree that one of the challenges is really data management. But beyond that, I think I would point it to really establishing the relevance of reporting to your stakeholders. Because if you're not able to establish the relevance, they will just see it as another add-on to their already business as usual. It will entail cost. So just last May, SustainablePH did a 3-0 breakfast forum, something like this, but of course simpler, over breakfast, where we actually gathered practitioners for a non-recorded conversation with fellow practitioners. And the topic was on sustainability reporting. These are like, so the practitioners come there, and people can really just freely ask their questions about the journey of these practitioners. And often we found the questions that they really ask. So these are also the participants of the Learn to Lead training program we do. Is how do we make sure that we can actually convince our stakeholders to comply with what we are asking on top of what they're already doing? And I think that's a fundamental question because initially we start with compliance, which I think is very relevant. It's a relevant push. But the last thing you want to happen is it becomes the end. Reporting becomes an end when what we want is it's just a means to actually drive performance and sustainability performance. So whenever we try to do our trainings, whenever we try to talk to professionals, we don't talk about sustainability reporting in isolation. We actually talk about it as just an output of whatever you're improving in your operations, whatever you are deciding in your leadership. We don't bombard them with the frameworks yet because we want to be able to establish the relevance first. So again, moving to my development hat eventually, I can't imagine myself going to cooperatives in Mindanao and telling them, you gotta disclose your electricity consumption. You gotta measure your water. When their concern is to be able to sell their fresh produce, right? So I think establishing the relevance might be easy for big corporates, like the hundreds of publicly listed companies. But even at the level of a conglomerate, you have to have a lot of buy-in in your internal stakeholders. But once you're able to establish that relevance, the business case, essentially, they will be the ones willing to actually gather their information, see that this is actually an input to how we can improve our business processes, how we can realize some cost savings later on. So that operationalization later on, I think, is one of the ways we can put meaning into this data gathering. But yeah, I would put it at that word. Really, the relevance is one of the challenges. So what we try to do whenever we do these trainings, so since I've gone beyond the corporate hat and working with our internal stakeholders, we've worked with MSMEs, startups, nonprofits. I am even surprised that in the nonprofit world, I already work with one of the top NGOs in France, and they don't know about GRI. They don't know about TCFD. But they know about impact words. They know they have a very stringent monitoring and evaluation and impact measurement metrics. It just doesn't speak the language of corporate reporting. but it's also a reporting in a sense, no? So in a way, they have already established their own relevance, not just in our language. So I think I really appreciate that there will be efforts to harmonize, to make it easy, because that will help establish the relevance with the different stakeholders. So, but yeah, so I'm really, those are music to my ears if I were still a corporate reporter. But now I'm already, I've moved to a bit more development and working with various stakeholders to really try to see how do we make sustainability reporting have an added value to the work that we already do, whichever sector we are in.
Thank you, Mai. So, having discussed what you do at Learn to Lead, no, if I may ask Ms. Katreena on if you could share, since you're a founder of this youth-led organization called Reboot PH, no, if you could share what you do there and what are the advocacies of that organization related to, sustainability.
Yeah, sure, Avi. Maybe just a quick backgrounder on what Reboot is. So Reboot, Renewable Energy Transition Institute, Philippines. I know it's a long name, but we can call it just Reboot PH. It has been founded by the alumni and the current participants of what we call the Reboot Renewable Energy Bootcamp. I was part of the pilot batch back in 2016, and it was like a year-long program para kaming nag-aral ulit. And we had immersive sessions with the communities, really tackling the root problems in those communities and what they need, conducting all these needs assessments for them. But the main focus is actually just on the renewable energy and whatnot. So for this one, in creating the Reboot PH, we wanted to produce RE ambassadors led by coming from the youth themselves, because we see that including the young in this, and also the current generation in the talks of sustainability, the talks of renewable energy is really, really important. And I'm also happy to hear from Felix a while ago what Comunidad is about. I've read a couple of, I've come across your website, but hearing from Felix a while ago that they're focusing on climate change and whatnot. That's also one of the focuses of Reboot PH, particularly on the just energy transition. Right now, also just to be clear, I'm not actively in participation with Reboot PH right now, but my tenure with as a founding board member ended in 2021. But I still like to promote some of the activities that they're doing right now, that we're doing right now. We have a 4-year program funded by, was it Oxfam, and entitled Oxfam, entitled Influencing Just Energy Transition. So the focus there is to push for local energy just policies in certain areas in the Philippines. And I'm also happy to learn from my colleagues there that we have now expanded from Manila-based and also Bicol chapters. We have now expanded to Maguindanao, Laguna, and Negros. So during my time there, as beyond beyond as a founding board member, I was also the Climate and Energy Literacy Director. And at the time, we were pushing for 3 main activities. One, awareness raising through webinars, and the other one, where we were targeting the kids from elementary schools. We've developed these learning kits for them about climate change, about just energy transition and whatnot. And then also we were developing at the time learning management system where anyone can learn about climate change online. So I believe we made it available to the public as well. I guess maybe just pivoting back to sustainability and reporting in itself. I had a talk as well, I think a month or two ago, about facilitation of just energy. Sorry, I'm eating my words. The facilitation of just energy transition, and I would say that every topic out there goes back to reporting. Every topic out there needs like a baseline of information where everyone can just look into and refer to. And I'm also agreeing with Mai in terms of really focusing on the relevance of on the use of sustainability report. That it is just a tool. By the end of the day, sustainability report is just paper. What matters is that how we use it. And I'd like to emphasize, of course, that having a sustainability report, it's we can use it as a risk management tool, seeing which areas we need to improve on, which areas we need to focus on, and whatnot. And also, second point is having this experience with Reboot PH, and also hearing my experience with Sustainable PH in terms of really uh, focusing, really focusing in the what the people on the ground really needs. It's really, really important to make like a tailored approach into getting their buy-in, in making them appreciate and understand what sustainability is about, and what's in it for them, and how they can practically apply the principles of sustainability in their businesses, in their everyday lives, and whatnot. So thank you, RV. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, thank you, Katreena. We have another question for Director Rachel. We'll just interject some of the questions. From the same person, Ms. Ina Antipala Fayala. You mentioned that the upcoming memo disclosure will be industry specific, and her question was, how will this affect conglomerates?
So basically, right now, it's still in the draft stage, and it is still subject to approval by our Commission and Bank for exposure. But at the current draft, we have identified certain general or overall metrics, and then we have also identified industry reporting on certain information on, I think we look at one framework. Sige, sabihin ko na nga, ISSB. We also look at that because of the industry relevant information. But of course, this is still in the draft stage. Mahirap din na announce ko ng fully subject to. Kaya nga sabi ko, nagsusorry ako kay Chair, baka pagalitan niya ako. But anyway, that's the plan. We are identifying certain indicators that are common to all. And then there's an industry. For conglomerates, if you're referring to holding companies as well, because I think that's the one that will have the most, parang medyo different yung approach for holding companies, conglomerates, because some of, yun yung worry din namin, no? That was one of our challenge when we were reviewing some of the reports, yung replication of some of the items reported in the subsidiary and also a holding company that are both listed. So we're trying to also have an approach for that. Soon, we can make the necessary announcement. But if that addresses the question, we have a specific areas for the holding companies on how they will be reporting, because yun nga, as mentioned, we don't want a replication, or what the holding company is reporting on is also being reported by the subsidiary.
Thank you. I guess it's time maybe to ask the audience if you have any questions. Any questions for the speakers? So if there's none, we can continue with the fireside chat. No. Again, if I may ask, given your background in the part na kayo yung tinutulak during your time as in the corporation, and also your time in the academe, what do you think would be some of the opportunities, and hearing all the challenges earlier, no, that were mentioned by the speakers on related to sustainability reporting, what would you think are some of the opportunities which can be garnered from there, and what would the role of maybe innovation and technology have in addressing those challenges?
Thank you, Sir RV. So I guess coming from different hats already, and I get to see a bit of perspective from the private sector, from the academic sector, from the nonprofit sector. There's a lot of opportunities I actually saw when I moved out of corporate and moved into the other stakeholder groups, no. So kung dati ako yung kinoconsult, ako yung nagko-consult sa stakeholders, I'm also part of the different stakeholder group now. But I would point to a first opportunity in terms of really capability building. I was the first graduate of a master's in sustainability management in our university. There's not a lot of universities offering sustainability courses. So how are we supposed to expect companies to have professionals who are really skilled in sustainability? But of course, we believe that everyone can be a sustainability professional and has to be a sustainability professional. But there's a retooling that can happen. For example, traditionally, you could be in the marketing and you've suddenly been assigned to do sustainability reports. I'm sure some of you here are coming from that background. Or some of you may be from compliance. Tapos, ayan, bumasa ng SEC memo si Direct Rachel. Tapos, suddenly you have to understand what is biodiversity impacts or what is hazardous waste, di ba? So, there's a lot of risk upskilling that can happen, and I think there's opportunity in that, no? In the education space, that's what we're trying to do with Learn to Lead Sustainability. I'm too shy to say that it's still it's an ed tech way to do it, no? Kasi we have a hybrid format. We have like an online format, like we video Filipino professionals who teach about sustainability in the Philippine context. And then we have live sessions. So we've invited some of the seasoned professionals like Dave De Villes and Colleen Palaganas. So they've been in the seasoned side of the space, no, who are willing to share to the other community of professionals, even if they're not within the company, even if they're from other stakeholder groups. Because we all just want a better Philippines for everyone, all right? So there's this upskilling that I think there's an opportunity in that. But if I would talk about technology and innovation and its role, insofar as it is relevant, I think the role it has to play is really how will it make it easy for anyone to just make the right things, whether that's doing sustainability reporting properly, implementing the right sustainability projects, or upskilling your own workforce. So some are investing in, for example, online learning platforms to mass upskill. But of course, not everyone will have the budget. So I think a good opportunity, especially that other companies can look at, is how can we upskill our workforce, our teams, our suppliers, our other stakeholders in the most affordable, adaptable, and context-based way. I will go back to that point on relevance. If it's not relevant, it's hard to push it. It's gonna be too expensive to push it. So I hope in my corporate time as well, we've received a lot of software as solutions to try to help ease our burden, for example, in sustainability reporting. We see the value, but one of the first barriers, of course, is it's the cost hindrance. Too expensive. Every time you add another 100 users, it's gonna be too expensive, even with the training. So there's a lot of disruptive technology that you can actually find and try to introduce to your stakeholders. So for example, within my academe hat as well, we try to do our share in introducing courses and actually mainstreaming sustainability in core courses. So right when you go to college, you have to take the general education courses and like the electives. Before, sustainability was just an elective. But now in Ateneo, specifically in the School of Management, everyone has to take a course on sustainability. The basic of sustainability. And the professors bring in practitioners. Because it can't just be like academe and you're stuck in the academe and theory forever. So that's also kind of why I entered the academe space, because I want to bring industry and marry it with the theory. So I think those are opportunity areas, and I hope there could be more willingness as well from corporates to work with scientists. Because at the end of the day, sustainability is both science, no, a science approach, and also it's also an art in a sense. So yeah, I could name a lot of opportunities, but there's a lot actually. I guess we're sometimes in the corporate and the publicly listed companies, we might feel we're too familiar with it already. But when I went out, I saw that there's still a lot of organizations who are still not familiar even with the term ESG. So I just came up from a training earlier from a company's suppliers. Plus we asked, is it your first time to hear about ESG? And I was surprised. A lot of them said yes. So I don't know, there's a lot of influence we can make, especially if we are big companies as well, which I think most of you here are from the big companies also. So yeah, that's I guess those are many opportunities I can share for now.
Thank you, Mai. Director Rachel, would you like to share your thoughts on the role of innovation and technology with regards to the challenges that were mentioned earlier?
Is it okay if I also discuss opportunities? Yeah, of course, yung opportunity will be linked also on the digital space. For the opportunities, of course, we've been doing this for quite some time. And what I have found is that there is really a big opportunity for more collaboration instead of competition. I think we can, in the meantime, ignore our competitiveness and be more collaborative because we are just living in one planet. And I think through collaboration, we can actually survive. So when we were doing this process, as mentioned by Katreena, we have been collaborating with them. GRI has been our partner, I think, since 2018. We have done a lot of discussions. We have been pushing a lot of policies and reviews. And from GRI, learning that a lot of associations or groups are actually interested to be involved not only in sustainability, but also partnering with SEC to spread the word. I think you've been mentioning about relevance, now you mentioned about education. I think that awareness area is also very important, and this is also a good opportunity that a lot of us have to learn, have to be more aware, and to keep ourselves updated. Especially now, no? Parang in 1 month, ang daming updates globally. So even us, we cannot keep up anymore na may bago na naman na approve. I think TNFD has just approved. So there's a lot of things to consider. Kaya medyo nahirapan din kami sa regulator na are we going to adopt this new thing that was just approved or launched? And then, of course, last June, the ISB S1 and S2 was also approved. So those are also things to be considered. So, of course, makikita namin yung eagerness to have all these standards work together. And then kami, with the government, we also see yung partnerships and collaboration namin with our regulators and government agencies. And then ngayon, yun nga, medyo nag-tighten din kami ng relationship with some private sectors. As you mentioned, at the end of the day, the practitioners should be more involved in also helping us draft our regulations. So that's one. The second one, actually, maraming opportunities na lumalapit din sa amin into digitalizing all this information. In fact, I think nagkaroon na ba tayo, ilan na ba? 3 na ba? 4 na offers to digitalize. And then we also have our own in-house. So because we wanted it to be also organic. But when we look at the other offers, ang ganda din nila. Sabi mo nga, di ba, disruptive. Parang gusto ko lahat sila kunin. Pero paano ko sila matatie up together to make one platform that will be helpful and useful? At paano ko rin sila mapapag-agree na ito? Kasi syempre, they have their own design. Pinaghirapan na ng mga engineers nila yan, ng mga data scientists nila. And then, here we come, trying to combine them with another platform. So how will that be possible? So those are some of the challenges, I think, because there are a lot offered out there and how to pick naman, how to choose wisely. Baka mamaya mapili kami, may na-hurt din kami, may mga ganun. So, yeah, we're very much interested to have more, yan, babalik ako sa collaboration. But we wanted, yun nga, bumabalik din ako doon sa gusto namin medyo organic sa amin. Kasi natatakot din kami na if we favor one, that might have some conflict of interest as well on our part as a regulator. Kasi we're not just a securities regulator, eh. We're also a company registrar, and we also regulate ordinary corporations. So baka mamaya, there are ordinary corporations that would want to be partnering with SEC, baka sabihin there's some conflict there. So yun yung mga concerns namin. And yun, but ang ginagawa na lang namin, we listen, we try to understand, and ayaw naman din namin mag-block off na that won't be useful to us. Because yun nga, disruptive talaga right now. And I think how to harmonize all these things and make them relevant, to use your words, is really key right now. So, yan, key in our proceeding with all these sustainability efforts.
Thank you, Director Rachel. And if I may ask Katreena also, what are your views on the opportunities that you could see in relation to the challenges? Especially, I think you mentioned earlier that you're trying to cascade this to the SMEs, right? And they have
Yes.
less resources.
Yes, that's
They
right.
have less resources. And yeah, and the role of possibly of technology and innovation to address these challenges. Thank you. And
All right.
opportunities. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right. I was wondering if my internet has become unstable, but all right. Thank you again for the question, RV. And yes, talking about opportunities, I'm very, very, very much excited to share with everyone that there's a big opportunity coming up. It's open to everyone. We will be launching this November 20 to be exact, what we call the Sustainability Innovation Lab of Asia. So in the afternoon of November 20, we will be convening in Singapore. The seats will be very limited. We'll limit it to about 100 people, but we will also open it online. The MOU is still in the works, but we'll also bring in ISSB to this collaboration. And basically, the Sustainability Innovation Lab of Asia, or SILA, this will provide technological and digital solutions. This will fuel sustainable entrepreneurship, and also, connect peers in your industry on a local and global scale, and also network with sustainability experts and whatnot. And we have a really big vision for SILA. And to date, I mean, we're still refining the details of it, but so far we have 5 centers of excellence. One is focused on interoperability and digital taxonomy. So here, basically, we want to unlock seamless collaboration, as Director Rachel said. Having really rooting for collaborativeness among the sustainability stakeholders is really important for us to be able to achieve whatever we want to achieve in the name of sustainable development. And for this Center of Excellence for interoperability, we also want to, of course, reduce redundancies when it comes to standards or frameworks and whatnot. We hope to maybe, I don't know, we will see down the line what will be the outcomes for this specific Centers of Excellence, but that is for you to watch out for. And second Center of Excellence would be around legal. So here we'll be focusing on due diligence on environmental, social, and governance topics. So basically, we will provide some guidance on sustainability reporting requirements, and also thought leadership and expert sessions on sustainability and reporting. So as Mai mentioned a while ago, we hope that this Center of Excellence could address the bullet factor for most professionals who had been introduced to sustainability and reporting all of a sudden. The third center of excellence would be for audit and assurance. So for this, of course, trends on sustainability reporting or like topics, hot topics around it would be credibility washing and greenwashing. So that's why we want to focus on audit and assurance as an opportunity for everyone to chip in, to ride on, because this is also very important. So, having a sustainability report, focusing on the data, it's meaningless if it's not credible and if it's not verifiable. So we have to have a really robust set of data that we could rely on, so that when we, push a policy, it will be evidence-based. The fourth one, bear with me, we're almost done. The fourth center of excellence would be focusing on SMEs. So I've been mentioning SMEs from the very beginning of this fireside chat. And basically what we want to do is, to have a fit for purpose standards or approach with SMEs when it comes to reporting, or when it comes to embedding or integrating sustainability practices into their operations. We know that they have different priorities, different needs as compared to the large companies. And in relation to this, I'm also happy to share, even though we're only launching the SILA in November 20, we're already doing a lot of work behind it. Here in the Philippines, for instance, we just signed an MOU with the Department of Trade and Industry, specifically their arm on Bureau of Small and Medium Enterprises Development. We signed it this month, actually. So very, very fresh. We aim to reach at least 8,000 MSMEs when it comes to raising awareness on sustainability and reporting. And hopefully in this 5-year program with DTI BISMED, we'll be able to help at least 300 MSMEs to develop their first sustainability report. So that's a very exciting time for GRI, and we have a lot of opportunities for everyone out there, not just for the large companies, but also for industry associations, even academia and civil society organizations to hop on into this opportunity that we've created with DTI BISMED. And lastly would be our Center of Excellence for the public sector. So we recognize that the public sector sustainability information is also essential because this would set an example for robust reporting practices that would inspire trust and promote responsible governance in a broader community. So I guess I'd like to also call for call to action in terms of specific kind of like baskets of opportunity for everyone. We're looking specifically for network contributors, for content contributors, and of course, financial contributors. So if you're ever interested in any of those three, or if any of the centers of excellence caught your attention, do let me know. BSD and Comunidad, they have my email address, and I'll be happy to speak with you more about this. So thank you.
Thank you, Katreena. So before we continue, are there any questions from the audience, or would any one of you would like to share any of your challenges or successes in recently? Okay. Okay, go ahead. May mic ba doon? Ito na lang. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Hello, speakers. So, hello, I'm Nick John. I'm a researcher at the UST ASTI, and we are currently embarked on a project based on blockchain. So, I'm just curious, what do you think on the idea of addressing the transparency of sustainability reporting using blockchain-based softwares?
Did you get the question? Ah, blockchain. The question was, can you use blockchain to increase transparency with regards to sustainability reporting? Would anyone want to try answering that? Or I think it's, from my understanding of blockchain, I think it increases the transparency, especially with regards to the chain of a certain document. So you'll be able to determine who was the previous, recorder, or who was the previous holder of a document, and that increases the transparency of the transaction. So I guess in that way, blockchain would be able to increase the credibility and the transparency of a report. That's my attempt at trying to.
Hi, RV.
Yeah, Katreena.
Yeah, if I could try to also answer this, I would say a very challenging question because personally, I don't know much about blockchain yet, but because of today's event, I might do rabbit hole research later on. But I would say, with as you've mentioned, RP, this improved this transparency when it comes to like reporting and whatnot, and not just reporting, but also like just talking about traceability. But I guess one of the things that we should be looking at, of course, is data privacy, and that's one of the topics under the social aspect of sustainability under the GRI standards. So. Looking at it as in a general sense, harnessing digital transformation and harnessing digital transformation, I would say just we have to be critical with what the steps we're going to take. As Maya mentioned a while ago, some of this could be disruptive, but even with the disruptions, I think that there are still opportunities that we can find from it, turning chaos or crisis into big opportunities. I hope I was able to give some substantial answer for our participant who asked that question. I'm sorry I was able to get his name.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions or comments, or anyone willing to share their experiences, challenges? So if there's none, I'd like to thank the speakers, Katreena Pillejera of GRI, Director Rachel Gumtang Remalante, and Mai Baticulon of Ateneo Institute of Sustainability. But if I may just try to summarize and take the gist of the fireside chat this afternoon. No? So some of the challenges that were mentioned earlier by the speakers were, number one, data gathering. I think we all know that is the major obstacle, even for other things like Scope 3, life cycle analysis. So data gathering is really one of the major challenges. Alignment with the different frameworks, making, as was mentioned by Director Rachel, how to make it easier, and also digitizing the whole process. Also, some opportunities mentioned was really capacity building, upskilling, again, technology and how to make things easier, the cost, how to make it affordable, and of course, I think was what Mai mentioned earlier, relevance. My interpretation of relevance is really how to make it relevant to your context, or to the context of your company and to the area where you're operating. How to make something more collaborative, and again, agreeing on how to address the issue of SEC, where you're not trying to favor one particular platform, but being platform agnostic and also technology agnostic, I guess. So again, thank you everyone for participating in the Fireside Chat. And again, thank you for all the speakers. And we appreciate spending on time and your knowledge about this matter. Thank you.
Ayan, so thank you. Let's give them again a round of applause. Okay. Okay na po. Alright. Sige, you may return to your seats actually to be more comfortable. So, ayan, di ba? So I hope meron kayong na-learn, no? Something new today and something, of course, very important from SEC. No? Meron na tayong pasilip sa bagong upcoming announcements and also from GRI, no? Kanina from Kat. Ayan. So, I know medyo baka you already wanna eat, no? Pero before anything else, we have something very special in store for you. And before I actually proceed with what's that, there's a teaser, no, for everyone. And this will be, yon. Meron tayong papanoorin na teaser. And then, para at least mabigyan muna kayo ng konting maging excited kayo for what are we going to share with you later on. Sige. So they're trying to set it up. For the meantime, you can actually go to the comfort room. Ayan. Time to go to a break while they're setting up the video. And then, ayan. That's the last portion na tayo, everyone. I know na medyo na yung lahat. They wanted to, of course, to talk, no, interact with one another. So, ayan. Let's wait for the video.
Presenting ESG and Sustainability Suite, a comprehensive tool for climate mitigation. It simplifies GHG accounting and sustainability reporting across industries. Efficiently gather emissions data and more. Navigate your data with ease. Tailored solutions for your unique needs. Guiding you through the process. Uncovering valuable insights. Centralizing and maintaining data integrity. Building apps to support your sustainability goals. Join us in shaping a more sustainable world. Contact us to be part of the change.
Okay, so that very short video is, I hope, yun pang silip yun, is a teaser for everyone. Pero of course, I know baka may questions kayo, no? Ano ba yan? Bakit may ganyan? So let me introduce to you to Comunidad's Director of ESG and Sustainability, Mr. Jed Llanes. No? Please give him a round of applause. He will be discussing, no? This is the Sustainability Suite. Ayan, so I'll give it to him.
Good evening. On behalf of Comunidad, thank you for coming to our event. My name is Jed Llanes. I'm the Director for ESG and Sustainability for Comunidad. I've been a lifelong sustainability professional like yourselves here today. I started my sustainability background back when I was in Ateneo doing sustainability in Ateneo. My thesis was about sustainability. And after that, I started sustainability with SM Prime, developed the SM Prime sustainability program, developed their sustainability reporting, left for Canada, left for to take my master's, and then now I'm back with Comunidad with a lot of experience. As yourselves, you have a lot of experience in sustainability. But what we found in Comunidad, so it is a software company, what we found was that the Philippine market was still missing one piece, which was automation, data collection, and just basically a platform for ESG and sustainability made in the Philippines, made by Filipinos, and more apt for the Philippine environment. I'm sure a lot of you right now have ESG and sustainability solutions in your company, but I would like for you to consider Comunidad's ESG and Sustainability Suite, as we've developed this in over the past half year, beginning of this year, and we tried to make it as customized and as apt for the Philippine environment as the other solutions that we have. Okay. So I would like to present the program to you. So according to a study by Euromonitor in 2023, 74% of global corporations mentioned their companies face at least some pressure from government for climate action. So right now in the Philippines, if you are a publicly listed company, of course you do feel the pressure because you will need to do a sustainability report. You need to submit a sustainability report. But in other areas of the world, like in Europe, right now it is you are legally required, if you are a listed company, not even a listed company, if you're a registered company, to do a sustainability report and submit a sustainability report. But right now we don't have that yet. Maybe we will eventually, but yeah, hopefully we get there. 84% of corporate respondents recognize the importance of climate change. This marks an increase of 2.3% from last year. So it is increasing from year to year. And finally, but less than 25% of global companies in 2023 express confidence in the extreme effectiveness of their sustainability communication, sustainability report. So only less than 25% experience some sort of level of confidence. So what does our platform seek to do? So what do we seek to achieve? First, we made this platform to be an integrated platform in assisting organizations in a sustainability report from A to Z. So I understand that everybody here understands the reporting process. If you go through the reporting process of stakeholder engagement, materiality, data collection, data monitoring, data analysis, all that verification, all the way to the actual creation of the report. We want the platform to have a really good system for data management, to input, collect, analyze, and verify. And we want to prepare the data input to automatically follow international and local sustainability guidelines. And finally, analyze the data and provide assessments on organizations' next steps in their sustainability journey. So we did this also by partnering with BSD. Of course, BSD are our kind partners for today. So we've partnered with BSD to develop this platform for the Philippine environment. Our value proposition: first, impact of data, improve data collection and quality. We want to improve data collection. Do you think that Excel files right now are a good quality data collection tool? It could if you are from a really good company that verifies each individual data points. But I was from SM Prime. We were doing 60 malls plus about 12 SMDC projects at a time. And that was just only 72 properties, but we were gathering a lot of data and a lot of decimal points for all of our malls and kilowatt hours and fuels and things like that. And a team of 4 simply could not keep up with that level of accuracy. Availability of impact data, flexible software options. So what we strive for with this platform is the flexibility. So what works well with one company might not work with the other, and we can change that. We can fix that according to your needs. So don't think of it as a platform that you have to change your operations, you have to change the way that you do reporting for. It's the other way around. We will change our platform for what you are doing on the ground. If what you are doing on the ground is already good, if you already like it, if you like Excel sheets, we will do it. We will gather that data from your Excel sheets. All you have to do is simply upload it into the platform and voila, everything's there. To whatever you want to see, carbon emissions, scope 1, scope 2, scope 3, and things like that. So we have a full project timeline. Since we have partnered with BSD, we are providing training, certifications, implementation trainings. We do stakeholder engagement and materiality analysis with BSD as well. We have software implementation and customization. We will be there on the ground to map out what you are doing and how we can digitize certain parts of your operations to create this platform. So the platform is not, this is what we have, and this is what you will use. No. The platform is very basic. You tell us what you want to happen in the platform. You tell us how you want to do it. What data points you would like to be collected. How do you want it to be collected? Okay. Of course, we verify that data, we consolidate that data, and then we do have an option for you to report all of that data automatically in whatever guideline you want to report by. So this is our platform, Comunidad's ESG and Sustainability Suite. What we strive to do here is make it as simple as possible. We've tried to make it as simple as possible because we are not making it for you. The sustainability managers, the sustainability heads, this is not for you. This is for our team members on the ground who may not, they may not know much about sustainability. They may not, they may think of sustainability as added work. So we try to make it as simple as possible. Of course, we can make it as comprehensive as possible for our sustainability managers, sustainability heads. But the thought process here is for the team members on the ground, the team members that will actually input that data into the software, into the platform. So first we start with a landing page. I will go through the platform later. I'll show everything that is to share in the platform. You can ask questions as we go along. Please do not be afraid to ask questions. First, customizable dashboards, sustainability dashboards. So when you enter the platform, you are greeted by a dashboard. This dashboard can be customizable however you want it. You want a pie graph, you want a bar graph, you want a line graph, you want comparative between facilities. You want to see a particular facility that you are working on that requires much needed importance, you can put it here. So this is just the basic dashboard, but everything can be included and can be customizable. Then we have a materiality selector. So a lot of us, the way we handle sustainability is we have buildings, we have facilities. But in each of our facility, everything is different. All of the activities under the GHG protocol, under GHG emissions, each building has a different set of guidelines, different set of fuels, different set of refrigerants. So everything is there. So everything you need to select. So when you add a building, you add a facility, you already select which ones are applicable for that facility. As compared to an Excel sheet has everything on the Excel sheet, and the person on the ground will select what is applicable for our facility. Not with this. With this, you select it. You select which one is applicable for your facility, and then we can create that data. We can create it. You can create the data input based on your selection. Then we go on to the data input manager. So later I will do the step-by-step process of how we do the input of data, the collection of data. So the data input manager, this is where you will input that data. So we have 3 ways. So I was thinking with my SM cap before, so I have my colleagues from SMIC before, Colleen and Jean, who was part of our team before. So I was thinking, what was hard with collecting data when we were at SM? First, Excel sheets, right? Excel sheets. But when the Excel sheet comes to us, it's already clouded with so many different things. And we have to extract it as a sustainability manager to consolidate and capture it. So first, we have an Excel sheet downloader. So from that materiality, let's say facility A, you select, okay, facility A has fuels, electricity from renewable and things like that. You can download that already and creates a blank Excel sheet which you can send to your team members on the ground if they prefer Excel sheets. Team member will input that data and they can right away upload it into the platform, and the platform will just copy and calculate everything. That's all they have to do. Okay? That's if they would like to still do the Excel sheets. Second is we have an online dashboard. So you can do everything online already. You can input that data online per month basis, or whenever, let's say the bill comes out, if the LPG bill comes out first week of the month and electricity comes out third week of the month, you can still input it at specific dates at which you need to input. And right away, when you input that data, you can already attach the file corresponding to the data in which you have, in which you entered. So when you attach the file, of course, if we have an auditor, yung mga assurance dyan, yung mga nagpapa-assure ng sustainability report, what they usually do is they select a random month of the year and a random, let's say, fuel, kilowatt hour, and they try to look into the corresponding documents there. So that's the reason why we wanted to do an attachment of documents there. And third is that we can integrate it into an existing platform. Let's say you want to integrate it with your SAP, you want to integrate it with QuickBooks, we can do that too. So again, it's very, very customizable for you. There, the attachment function. Okay, I think this one is one thing that we found very, very useful. And again, putting on my past experience hat, the way we do sustainability before was that we had an Excel sheet and then we send it to the team member with all the other items. And then team member A from accounting inputs their data, pero nandun pa rin yung mga ibang items ng Excel sheet. So what we did with the platform is that if you are accounting, you only see what is responsible for accounting. If you are engineering, you only see what's responsible for engineering. If you are operations, you only see what's responsible for operations. You don't see anything else except that. Of course, if you are a manager, you can see whatever you want to see. If you want to see everything, you can see everything. But our team members, again, we're looking after the team members here. If you want it per specific team member, we can do that. We can filter it out so that it will be easier for them to understand what they are doing. And it's not, our job here is not to make their lives harder. It's just to make everything much, much easier and much more efficient. And also, the data that they send through makes it a lot easier for you to digest. And after everything, after all of the data that's been put through, the system automatically calculates that data into a GHG emissions report. So the GHG emissions report follows the UNFCCC greenhouse gas protocol. So we have options for emission factors. So we were asked a question earlier, what emission factors do we use? I will turn back the answer to you. What emission factors do you use? So that we can also input that into the system. So right now, the system uses DEFRA, but we can also change that into IPCC, EPA, whatever emission factor you use, we can put that into the system. So that's the beauty of our system, is that it's very, very, very customizable. So quite recently, we inked a deal with Cloverly, a voluntary carbon marketplace. So this is just extra. This is just an external option. So I, as a sustainability professional, I do not fully 100% condone carbon markets. I'm sure a lot of us don't do that as well. But we do have that option. We do have that opportunity just in case you do have extra emissions that you can no longer create an activity for or create an innovation for, and you do want to support a program. We have partnered with Cloverly, and our platform links straight to Cloverly in order for you to access verified carbon credits. And finally, we have a sustainability reporting manager. So I remember when I was with SM Prime, I was doing the GRI G3.1, the dinosaur of a GRI framework. And you had to list down certain number of questions and do the answers and all that. But it was more of like a requirement to get the B+, to get the A. So it was very hard for us to compile. And through compiling, you have to get the signatures of the ones that are responsible for that data. So it took us It took us 10 months to gather that data, and it took us another 6 months to get the signatures of the ones that we need to get signatures for. So with our Sustainability Reporting Manager, what we have done is we made it easier to report on different kinds of sustainability guidelines. So what we did was that on the platform, you can select to create a report. Let's say you want to create the sustainability report for 2024 using some set of guidelines, GRI, SASB, TCFD, of course, the SEC guidelines. You can all put that inside. You can all select that. So you can select whatever you want, whatever framework you want, and right away, the system creates for you like a form. A form in order for you to input the answers there. So you can work on it now, save it, you can work on it some other time, and right away, you can see how you are in the progress. And you can do it by who reviews it, who approves it. They can approve it through the system. They can verify it through the system. And the data points that you have entered into the platform, the GHG emissions, right away it's going to be linked into the Sustainability Reporting Manager. And not just that, so there are certain parts of the GRI that may answer certain parts of SASB, that might answer certain parts of TCFD. We will link that together. So you don't have to copy-paste anymore. So you can actually do 3 reports at once, GRI, SASB, TCFD, with just one answer. And then finally, you can export it. You can export it in however form you want. If you want to create a PDF form, you can create a PDF form. Of course, all the qualitative part of analysis, essays will be up to you. But this will create the system of the report. So it exports it into a Word file already, exports it to a PowerPoint, exports it to however you want it to export. And we can also develop a sustainability microsite for you. So the sustainability microsite looks like this. It could have whatever company you are in. And instead of having a PDF file of your report, it's actually on the website already, linked to your main website. So all the data that's being shown on your microsite can be in real time as your team members put in the numbers for each particular month. Okay. So you might be asking, oh, Jed, how about the HR part? How about the wellness part? How about of course, the S and ESG? Well, we can customize that for you because from our experience, the S part comes yearly. So it's not a monthly report. Unless your company does monthly, then good for you. But when I've done my engagement with HR, they've had a hard time gathering the data on a monthly basis. So this can be customized. The employee information can be customized at however our HR, our people team, however they want it to be. If they want it to be quarterly, if they want it to be monthly, we can do that as well. So this will be similar to the how you input the data in the environment. We have the same thing for social. And also, we've added a supplier engagement survey, a sustainability survey for suppliers, in order for us to calculate what is happening with our suppliers. Also, may I add that our data input has Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 according to IPCC, not IPCC, UNFCCC. So all the Scope 3 that is stated with UNFCCC is included into the system. So eventually, right now we are working on a project with the Quezon City government in creating a mobile app that could calculate the carbon footprint on the ground for the citizens of Quezon City. And also, this could be an add-on for your company, as you can also do a mobile app for your company that could calculate their carbon footprint. So this could be part of their Scope 3 employee commute and things like that. Another added feature, since Comunidad is our bread and butter is on resilience, we will be incorporating physical risk assessments to the facilities that you have included. So we are working on incorporating physical risk assessments. So this could include the weather patterns, per pin location of the facilities that you have included in the system. Okay, so I will go over the platform and I'll show you the actual platform. If anybody has any questions, please, you can raise your hand at any given time if you have any questions. Okay, so here you go. This is the platform. As you can see, right now it's full of numbers. So everything on the platform is customizable, even the logo, even the link. It could be to your company. So it could be company.sustainability.com. So everything is very, very customizable. The colors are all customizable. Whatever you see here, we can customize it. If you see a pie graph, you can customize it into bar graph, line graph, whatever you want. So the way we enter data is that you go to the buildings. Let's say we want to add a building. Okay. And then you add the details of your building. You add the details of your facility, name of your facility. It could be number of employees. Of course, gross floor area, gross leasable area. That's very important in adding our buildings. This can be customizable also. If you don't want to put your employees, we can take it out. If you want to put something else, we can put something else. Then it's created as this. Let's say the Makati office. Then you go through the materiality. So in our Makati office, this view here is what you see if you are a sustainability manager. Only a sustainability manager or an admin can see this. So for your Makati office, do you use gas fuels? So you select yes. Let's say LPG, usually it's LPG. Liquid fuels, let's say yes, it's usually diesel. Solid fuels, usually that's a no. Bioenergy, right now, usually that's a no, but it's there. Refrigerants, we also have about 100 plus types of refrigerants. Everything is there. We usually use R410A. So we select that. Vehicles, does your organization use or control vehicles? So it's also in there. For the sake of this exercise, we'll just put no. Electricity, does your organization use electricity from the grid? Usually that's a yes. Is it a renewable energy contract? Does your organization generate its own electricity and things like that? Even heat and steam is included, as well as district, yes. And then click save. So scope 3 is a very sensitive topic in the sustainability, as a sustainability professional. So these are things that are very optional. We can go in your organization and we can do a check whether or not we can actually start scope 3. But it is here, and I will show you the types of activities included here for scope 3. So you hit save. So right away, when you click the Makati office, there's a data input. So this is where you will see whether you want it as online data or if you want to upload an Excel sheet. If you want to download the Excel sheet, you just click the download template, input the number in the template, and upload it. And right away, the system will capture it and make it into a report, do the analytics, do the calculations automatically. So for online data input, you just select when you're inputting that data, let's say today. And then you can select which data you want to input for the day. So let's say you want to just do LPG. All you just have to do is write the number, click save, click upload the supporting documents, you're done. So once you're done everything, it shows up as analytics. So the analytics portion of the platform is customizable as well. So it could be as singular as this. Line graph, if you want a comparative between organizations, if you want a comparative between locations, between facilities, between regions, between locations, we can do that as well. And then in the GHG report, you can see here the GHG report. Everything is included already, calculated into kilograms of carbon emissions. We can change that into tons or however you want it to change. And this can be exported into a Word or Excel file. And then we can create the report through the reporting manager also. Yep, so that's it. If anybody has any questions regarding the platform, how much it is, I can assure you it is very, very cheap because it's Philippine made. It would be cheaper if it were made in China, but it's Philippine made, so that's important. So our price is per facility. One facility is $1,000 US dollars. Of course, BSD and our partners here. Right now, let's talk. We can find a great deal for you. We can find other options. Let's say we are partners with BSD as well. If you want to do GRI trainings, we can add that as well. We do stakeholder. What's good about Comunidad is that we are here in the Philippines. We are here to support you. We can go to your office. We can go to the place where you are, holding your operations. We can go down on the ground and actually see what is happening. And we are the first Filipino company to put out a platform like this. So thank you very much. Thank you for coming. And if you have any questions, please approach me.
Okay, so that's it actually. That's the end of our segment, and of course, dapat enjoy na, no? So I guess, okay na. If you have questions, again, you may approach community team, specifically Jed. And of course, if you have concerns and other questions, then you may approach us, no? Sir Ricky pala is already here. Sir Ricky De Castro, he arrived earlier. So ayan, please enjoy your dinner and syempre mingle with each other, and we hope to see you in our next events, okay? Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Bye.